something that's really gonna change and impact their lives. And like for me, I'm on the church social media team and I help. And one thing we're doing is we're posting a lot of shorts. We take the sermons, then we break it up into like little segments, and then we post those things. And we have gotten like a couple hundred subscribers so far.
Yay!
Yeah, it is really cool. It's really exciting. But one of the statistics and facts about YouTube Shorts is that usually the people that follow you from YouTube Shorts do not watch your long content. So in that type of way, the subscribers or the people that are following you off of like a little segment or a little victory where you get to thank God, like are those people being truly converted, or are you just planting roots that sprout and die quickly? And I hope that's not the things for like these celebrities where in one instance they're on fire for God and on fire for the Lord, and then the next they're died out.
Yeah.
Because people look at that too as like, oh, I thought Christianity was supposed to change you. I thought it was supposed to save you. But if that's the truth, then what happened to your faith?
Yikes.
Yeah.
That is a scary one. It's just so terrifying because, I mean, man, so many people want to say like, oh, I'm Christian, all this stuff, but it's like, it's hard. Like, you got to realize like Christianity is not just playing games and all this fun stuff. Like, there's sacrifice and there's discipline, and like if you don't do that, then it's not real Christianity that you are subscribed to. It's just the short. If you're not what were we talking about? If you're not a practitioner of what it is genuinely about, like being a follower of Jesus doesn't mean you just like and subscribe. Like being a follower of Jesus doesn't mean you just go to Logos and buy a Bible. Like it means you are living your life by the template of Jesus and like dying to your things and living for his things and all these things that aren't actually as easy as it looks. And so people are quick to judge Christians who might not even be fully Christian yet, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like they haven't fully committed to the Christian walk or all these things. And I can't tell you what that fully looks like, because even like we were saying, like we're still walking this thing out. We're still figuring this thing out. And I hope there's grace for that from everyone. But, you know, a lot of the times there isn't. Like you said, like people will see something and they'll see somebody who went through a lot, then became a Christian, and then like they kind of fizzled out because they had a hard time like actually applying the stuff to their life. And then they'll just judge them and say, oh, you're supposed to be perfect and do all this. Like, why do you say all this stuff and blah, blah, blah? And they get on their case, but it's like, bro, everybody is living this life together. And like, the struggle to follow God is an easy one if you go to God. But to let go of all this earth, all the things that we want here on earth, and especially the struggle with the culture of just like when you're in a culture that is just surrounded, or when you're surrounded by a culture that just goes against God, if you're in the world that goes against God, it's so hard to break free from that. Like only through God can you do those things. And it's just tough when people just turn to Christianity only, but not God, if that makes sense.
I think that's the difference between a pastor and a Christian influencer. Is that a pastor is supposed to be rooted deep, and the pastor has thought through all these questions that they don't understand, like free will, predestination, or what happens to people, or what happens to people in the afterlife, or if you're not saved, and all these things that you can't answer and it's hard to conflict with in your life, or hard to come to grips with, that we'll never have this understanding, or it goes against your flesh, and I'm not understanding because everyone else says it's okay, but God says to turn away from it. And that sometimes when you're getting your Christian education from TikTok or from
YouTube
Instagram,
University.
YouTube University, and from influencers, you miss what Christianity actually is. Because although I love seeing the progress of these people and stars and streamers going through their walk with God, you don't want to take your theology from them because they're gonna make
They're
mistakes.
still figuring theirs out. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't know who God is fully. Like, they have an experience of God, but do they truly know God? That's not up to me to decide.
And let me find it, because what is that verse where it's like not everyone should desire to preach?
Just because you have a lot of knowledge about God, you have that experience and you have a testimony, doesn't mean you should be a shepherd yet.
Yeah.
And doesn't mean you have the experience, or you have the equipping of a pastor. I'm not saying you can't be one day, but I'm saying that, like Daniel says, like, give me the hard battles, give me the hard life. So in those moments, that through suffering comes perseverance, and through perseverance comes experience and endurance for the race. And when you have endurance, like someone like a Christian that has fought through all those battles and all those fights and still makes it out, and then that people can lead other people. Instead of fizzling out, they could raise up a brand new generation of people and lead the next generation of the church. Whereas a Christian influencer, they are the ones being discipled. They are the ones that are still learning. So it's hard to take your education and your perspective about Christianity from an influencer rather than a pastor. But even that, a lot
James.
make mistakes and they don't represent Christianity well. James.
Just all of James is fire, especially when on this topic that we're talking about. And I think the big thing is to just be genuine, be real. But it says in James 3, "Not many of you should become teachers, my brothers, for you know that we who teach will be judged with greater strictness. For we all stumble in many ways. And if anyone does not stumble in what he says, he is a perfect man, able also to bridle his whole body." Meaning, like, nobody's perfect.